The Samsung Galaxy A series is one of Samsung's best-selling models, with the A14 grossing over 9 million units in sales. This is mainly because the A series is where Samsung bridges quality with affordability. This is the Samsung Galaxy A05, and it continues with the trend of quality meets affordability, as it costs just about 100,000 naira, but yet shares a similar design and camera layout as the higher S23 and 24 models. Samsung is able to cut costs in some areas in order to achieve this, some of which you might not like. Let's discuss on this, starting with its design. The Samsung Galaxy A05 sports a simple and laid-back design, but still manages to look classy and high-end. Its body is made of polycarbonate plastic, and it has a glossy finish, which gives it this pseudo premium look. Because of its glossy finish, it has a slippery feel and it attracts a lot of smudges, fingerprints, and scratches. Listen, I can't stress this enough. You literally have to wipe down this device the second you touch it. Yes, it is that bad. So my advice is that you get this device in any color but black, as I believe it is only noticeable with this color I have here. The Samsung Galaxy A05 is relatively lightweight, which would have made it easy to handle if you were not worried about it slipping out of your hands because of its texture. However, it is quite big in size, with its height of about 6.8 inches, weighing 195 grams, and a thickness of 8.8 millimeters. For some, this could be a problem, as it definitely affects the one-handed use of this device, even for someone like me with pretty large palms. I am usually not a fan of large devices, but after spending over a week with the A05, I've actually come to like it. It has its power buttons and volume rocker keys on the right side of the device, and spoiler alert, the power button doesn't serve as its fingerprint scanner. And if you guessed it, well, that's because it doesn't have any. It does, however, offer the first unlock option, if that helps. Guess Samsung is copying a lot more of the iPhone lately. At the bottom of this device is a 3.5mm headphone jack, a microphone, a USB Type-C charging port, and a speaker grill that does a pretty flimsy job at producing good sounds. At the top left side of this device is the SIM card tray that accepts a dual SIM setup and a micro SD card. And at the top of the device is another microphone. There is a dual camera setup at the rear of this device, comprising of a 50 megapixels main camera and a 2 megapixels depth sensor. A flashlight sits beside these cameras. For display, it has a 6.7 inches PLS LCD display with a U-shaped notch. Yet another controversial issue, as most would argue it wouldn't make much of a difference in cost to have put a punch-hole camera instead, considering the alternatives from other brands are doing so already, and at about the same price range. The display on this device is very similar to that on its predecessor, with a resolution of 720 by 1600 HD Plus display with 262 pixels density. According to my observation, images on the display appear average, but it still delivers on vibrance and sharpness. Indoor media consumption on this device is really not bad. It works, and media consumption is generally enjoyable. On the other hand, consuming media outdoors and especially under direct sunlight is a little difficult and might need you to strain your eyes. It has a refresh rate of 60 Hz, which honestly again very disappointing, but I guess it's the price you have to pay for owning a Samsung with just about 100,000 naira. For performance, it is powered by MediaTek Helio G85 12nm octa-core CPU and paired with 4GB of RAM. This processor is an old one, but for an entry-level device like this one, we can understand. With its 4GB of RAM, having too many apps running in the background can cause glitches and sluggishness in performance. The lags can be quite annoying though, especially with the camera app, which also could have been better, as there are instances of delayed captures which makes the images come out blurry and out of focus. The Samsung Galaxy A05 comes with Samsung's One UI 5.1, based on Android 13. And my reaction to this is, come on man, you could have at least rolled it out with Android 14. This is one of the reasons this device won't stand a chance against its competition. An even more shocking inadequacy in the performance of this device is its lack of screen recording amongst other inadequacies. For screen recording, you have to rely on a third-party application. It is speculated that the Samsung Galaxy A05 might be getting up to 4 years of software and security updates. Now for the cameras, if you can overlook all the terrible aspects of it, which we shall be attending to later, the 50 megapixels main camera does a good job, especially under good lighting conditions. And I mean, it's a Samsung, so the software processing is done right, and most times you can barely notice the images are taken on a mid-range device. However, the camera app experiences a lot of lags, like I mentioned earlier, and in turn causes images to come out blurry. So for the best results, you have to be as still as possible when taking photos. The selfie camera, on the other hand, hasn't provided me any good results.
Personally, I am not impressed with the image output from it. Videos from both the main camera and the selfie camera are, I would say, average. Nah. The selfie camera is for me below average. And yeah, they max out at 1080p. Here is an heads up though. When you take a picture, it looks really good and you could get carried away and think to yourself, my AO5 is as good as an iPhone. But I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Photos break up easily and lose detail once you start to zoom in, and you immediately find out why it cost about 100,000 naira. The battery on the AO5 is probably the only thing they really did get right. It is 5000 milliamperes and boy did it last me a whole lot. On average use, I was hitting 2 days comfortably, and with minimal use took me more than 3 days. Listen, I appreciate Samsung making a device available at this price range, but unless you are 60 and above or just want a simple device for your teenage kid, I wouldn't recommend you getting one. There are far better options out there at the same price, offering a much better user experience. I mean, watch any of these videos and see for yourself. Thank you for your time. Till we see you again, bye bye.